Mabuhay everyone, MARKCHES here. Welcome to the channel. And for today's video, I'll be comparing the MB-01 and the Curry Flow 9. So I just recently played, actually right now, just finished playing with the MB-1. I started out with the Curry 9. Comparison between these two sneakers is actually very responsive and very easy to play with, very fun to play with. But let's find out what's the difference between these two, because they're actually almost the same price, although the Currys are expensive by I think 500 pesos if I'm not mistaken. So let's compare the materials first of the two uppers. Of course, on the Curry Flow 9, it features the new UA wire. It's a combination of textile, threads, and some fusing, and I'm really impressed with the upper of the Curry Flow 9. Given the upper of the Curry Flow 8, which was okay, it kind of lacks support in my opinion. So with the UA wire that they use right now on the 9s, it is very supportive for a very lightweight sneaker. The material is really thin, and comparing it with the upper of the Mellow 1, the Mellow 1 features a more standard upper, has a lot of fusing. You can see the tip of the sneaker is heavily fused. Then even the mesh here is kind of fused too. It's a very supportive sneaker, and on the lateral part, you can see more fusing here. The back part, there's some stitching, embroidery on the lateral part, while on the middle part, there's a lot more fusing here. So the main difference between the two uppers is the Curry Flow 9's upper feels really thin but still very supportive. On the Mellow ones, it is really supportive, but what's nice about it is even though it's thicker in materials, but it's very cozy around your foot. There's a lot of padding from the forefoot to the heel on the Mellow 1. So if you want more comfort, you will like the Mellow's upper more compared to the Curry Flow 9. If you want a thinner material, the Curry Flow 9 will give you that. As for lateral support, I would say the Mellow leads by a bit compared to the Curry Flows, because the fusing's found on the Mellow ones and it's a thicker material, so definitely by default it's a lot more structured. So there's a lot more lateral support on the Mellow ones. But what's nice about the support on the Flow 9s is the support is more coming from the base of the sneaker, which is really wide. You can see how wide the Currys are, and if you're comparing it with the Mellows, you can see the Currys really protruding there, and it's more flat compared to the more rounded shape on the Mellows. So it's a little bit more rounded here. So the Mellows are more meant for those very shifty guards. But if you're someone who likes to plant their feet really quick for a jump shot, the base of the Flow 9s are really nice. You are very stable on the Curry Flows, so that depends on what you want. Of course, if you are a shiftier guard, the Mellows are for you. But if you're a guard who likes stability and you're more of a shooter who likes to plant your feet really quickly, the Currys will give you that. And as for the heel part of the sneaker, this is where you can see the major difference between the two sneakers. Of course, the Currys are a low-cut sneaker, while the Mellows are a mid-top sneaker. So if you want a low-top sneaker and if you're wearing an ankle brace, the Currys will be a lot better with that, while on the Mellows, if you like extra ankle support, the Mellows will give you that. And as for heel containment lockdown, of course, the Mellows will be a little bit better in terms of heel containment because it's a higher cut sneaker, plus the thick foam found on the heel and ankle or Achilles pillows on the Mellows. But the Curry's heel containment is also very good. So if you just like extra cushioning, comfort around the heel, the Mellows are better for comfort. As for the lacing system, they're both very easy to put on. Comfort of the tongue, the Mellow's tongue is a bit thicker compared to the Curry's, but the Curry is still very comfortable around your foot. So like I've said, the Mellow's upper is really cozy. That's the overall takeaway on the Mellows compared to the Currys. And as for the cushion of these two sneakers, the Currys features the UA Flow Foam, same foam from the Curry 8s. It's, for me, There's a slight difference from the Curry 8s in terms of the cushion. This feels a little bit more bouncy compared to the 8s and feels a bit thicker in my opinion. But comparing it with the nitro-injected foam on the Mellows, this is a bit thicker compared to the Curries. So the Curries are really low to the ground, but the Mellows are also low to the ground but not as low as the Curries. Both cushion setup are very responsive. I like the bounciness, of course, on the Mellows since the nitro-injected foam is a bit thicker. Heel impact protection is a bit better on the Mellows. So if you want more cushion, of course, the Mellows will be better. But if you want more court feel, but at the same time, still having that slight bounciness in the forefoot and a nice impact protection in the heel, the Curries will also give you that. But if you're someone who likes a lot of cushion, I would stay away from the Curries. Heel-to-toe transition on both sneakers, both are very nice. A little better on the Mellows because of the curve on the forefoot. So when you're shifting, it gives you a more natural movement, especially if you're doing lateral shifts. While the Curries still gives you a very nice heel-to-toe transition when you're running up and down the court. Now let's move on to the traction of both sneakers. Both tractions are really, really grippy. The Mellows have a squeak, but on the Curries, even though it doesn't have a squeak, I mean, the traction on the Curries on a clean court or an indoor court, the Curries bite so hard. I think, my first game that I played on a clean court with the Curries. I usually play with an outdoor court and 2 times on a dusty floor with the Curries. It was gripping really nicely, but on a clean court like this, it was really, really gripping hard even though there's no squeak to it. The main difference between the traction is this Curry's traction, it's like a suction. When you're stopping, you're really stopping on a dime. There's no even a slight delay on the stop, where on the Mellows has a little bit, but it's good enough. So if you're not used to the traction of the Curries, make sure you're careful not to trip yourself up because there was a couple of possessions where I was really sticking on the floor and I almost tripped. So this is like I said, this is the first time I played with this on a clean court. And for dusty court, you need to wipe the Mellow every now and then, but on the Curries, very seldom wipes. So I would say traction-wise, on an indoor court, the Curries, but on an outdoor court, I would prefer the Mellows because it has rubber compared to just the foam traction on the Curries. So the Curries, the UA flow is also the traction of the Curries, so there's no any rubber found on the Curry 9s. Like the same traction that you will find on the Curry 8s. If you have played with the Curry 8s, it will give you the same traction. As for the weight of this two sneaker, this Mellow one has an average weight around 440 grams, while the Curry 9s, it is I think the lightest sneakers out in the market right now. So if you want a light sneaker, go with the Flow 9s. While the MB ones is not heavy either, it's just normal. It's very fun to play with. I really like playing with the Mellows. It reminds me of the All Pro, but on the mid-cut level, it's really, really fun to play with. As for aesthetics, I think both looks very, very nice. It really depends on the kind of aesthetics that you want. This Curry 9s, you can even use for cross-training, for gym use. And even the Mellows, it's really an eye-catcher. When I'm using this, a lot of the people that I play with always ask me what I'm wearing. So this is really an eye-catcher. But the Curry 9s ain't that bad either. As for the price, like I said, this is I think 8,500. Then I got this at around 8,000 because I got this in the US. But if you're just getting on retail, I think it's around 7,500 or 140 US dollars. So that's it on my comparison between the Curry Flow 9s and the Mellows. Let me know which one do you like better and why. Hit me a comment down below. This is me, MARKCHES, once again. Thank you for dropping by this channel. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.